Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Community for All of Us. Tonight, we have two great guests that we're very excited about. We're also going to be very excited about what we're talking about, which will be dealing with the Transformer Siege line. But before we get started, I want to turn this over because we're going to have a little bit of a news, and we're going to turn this over to Solimus, and he's going to share with us some great new things that we don't know, or maybe we already do know, but you don't know. But here we go. Solimus, my man.
So there two third parties. So X Transbots, they showed off their Quintesson and then like their Alicon, one of the other figures that was with the Quintessons and the Cup and their Target Master, Cup's Target Master in box form, and then they also showed off their X Transbots Muddy Master trailer, which I also do have pictures of, and then also one reference from the actual show of the one picture of it, so you can at least see what screen, and then auto just hit the see it in the phone. So that way you can see the screen. Okay, right next to my name it says Solomon Way Forward, but with the computer. Just hit it so you can see the pictures a little bit easier. And now you can see one. So here's the box art I was talking about. Well, just the bottom of all three boxes right here. And then I'll go back and show you their transbots. And then they also did show off their trailer picture. So here's the first picture of it from the back. It is show accurate with like the little ports up top where the G1 combiner, well, the G1 Limbots would connect, and the tab right there at the front. And then there's also a screenshot, well, a picture of the renders from the show, so you can see how accurate it is, like with the tab and the two ports right. So there's that, the back, the wheels, everything. And now there is Transformers Kingdom listings too, which I have on the device. So for Kingdom, it's rumored, so it could be real or not. We could be getting a deluxe runabout for Kingdom, deluxe tracks, Commander class Magnabot, Commander deluxe Black Arachnia, deluxe Cheetor of Voyager Dinobot, and then a Commander class Magnaboss, a Titan class Tidal Wave figure, and then we have a few Studio Series listings. Bumblebee movie Voyager Skyward, the Last Night, the Age of Extinction Voyager Prime, so it could be his Evasion mode or his new mode that he got in the Age of Extinction movie. And then Jazz, Cup, and Blur listings for Studio Series. And then 2 Generation Selects, Deluxe Road Rage, and Voice 2. So that's all of the Transformers news for this week. On the
Talking and you can't even hear me. There we go. Have no audio. Look at there. Audio correct finally shut up for a little bit, and then we can get a word in edgewise. Hey, it's awesome. No, that's some great news actually. Speaking of the news, and before we get into the talk of the night, out of that, guys, what was y'all's most anticipated thing that we've seen that's coming out from third party, or even the little hints and rumors from the Siege? I mean, from the Kingdom line.
I'm ready for the X Transbots, Quintesson Judge, and Alicons and Executioners. I can't wait for that whole lineup. I'm sold. I'm ready. I'm in.
Yeah, that's a tempting thing. I kind of got out of the third party except for the legend scales, but that's a very big tempt for me. What about anybody else?
The X Transbots trailer for the Roadmaster. It's also the same scale and height as the MP10. So there's that. And then after you get that, it will form the base mode 2 for robot mode, connect to Roadmaster for the trailer, and obviously form the combined mode for Minosaur. So the extra, maybe some of the Kingdom listings too.
So, Solomus, what was the very last listing you gave after Road Rage? I didn't hear that.
It was the deluxe hauler, Voyager
The
hauler grapple. So,
Got you.
which is that Generation Select version.
I don't know. For me, the most anticipated, the Magna Boss thing has me intrigued. As cool as the design of the original Magna Boss is, it is kind of a brick, a little messy looking of a toy. So if they can give that a modern update, and I wonder if they'll go with the spin of the 3 characters actually being the G1 characters in a new form. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be fantastic.
There are G1 characters in Kingdom along with Beast Wars, so it would be a little redundant to have, a Prowl and Ironhide and a Silverbolt that aren't those characters, but who knows? I'd like to see that and Tidal Wave, because a articulated Tidal Wave would be phenomenal also.
I would love an articulated Tidal Wave.
Mm-hmm.
Me too, definitely.
Lost Teresa.
Yeah.
Teresa. I'll be going down to her place tomorrow. I want to help her out with her computer.
So she'll be hosting the show next week.
Yes, next week. She's going to be the one that's going to be hosting it next week.
Nice.
And there goes Lord too.
Lord, what's the matter?
I'm missing that. I like him doing his little quirky jokes.
I know. There she's
My
back.
bad.
You're good.
Oh, there's Lord Starscream. He's now back. What about you two, Teresa and Lord Starscream? Y'all, anything that y'all are looking forward to?
You know what? My mute thing was showing. I'm new to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just look forward to buying I want a Lita. I know it's not off the top of on the topic, but I actually was looking for a Lita the other day.
Oh, the Lita one, absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm on
Lita. And
I
ours-
love her in the show. I hope
Yeah.
the toy has that sand color a little muted. Because in those pictures, that brown was so clashy.
Yeah.
Hoping that it's better in hand. I'm all about the figure. I think it's better than the RC mold that they remolded. I really like it. But I just hope the paint works a little better.
Yeah, Nikki said the same thing. She's like, that's a very big contrast between those. But she's really looking forward to it too. Next week, I've already got the order. So on the 10th, I will have RC in my hand.
Nice.
So I just got confirmation of that. So I'm very excited about that. So I'll start doing a review on it to show off, because I'm kind of wondering about it being a shelf former, but because the body just goes over. Well, what about you, Lord Starscream? My little ninja that's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Kingdom figures that are rumored, and some of the new Studio Series figures also.
Oh yeah, Studio Series. They got
86.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to pull me away from these masterpiece scaled figures is what's going on. They knew I was like 70% done, and they said, you know what? We're going to make these affordable movie versions, and screw you and your MP collection.
Yeah.
that's what happened to me, and that's why if you just look up in the top of this room, you see, that's all the studios
Nice.
Dang.
right up there. So yeah, they already suckered me in. So yeah, and Nikki's like, good Lord, don't let there be another Transformer line coming out. So there's one called Kingdom. She says, I know about that one. I'm going to get that because of the animals and stuff. Because it's like Beast Wars. So speaking,
And there goes Lord again.
what's the matter with you, Lord?
Come on. It's
You're like a
probably
hot potato. You're coming in and out. Like one second.
Galvatron got a hold of them.
Yeah.
Is there a storm going on out there?
I don't know. Oh, look, he's back.
He's back. Hello, my
Hey,
ninja.
Galvatron got him.
Well, I know parts of the East Coast are getting hit with that hurricane.
Nah.
We've had a couple of storms hit by here, but nothing. It's just been the bands, but nothing.
Nothing
my wife's
crazy.
family. Yeah, my wife her family has a place at Oak Island, and they were like, wow, we're going to just stay here. There's no need to come back home. Come into Father in the States. So yeah, it's not as bad as I think the news is saying.
Yeah,
the news
it was,
likes to scare us. So yeah.
yeah.
So, but speaking of Kingdom, speaking of the future of Transformers,
Yeah.
let's start off with TF Collector. I want to ask you a question. How did you feel when you sat down, like you were saying, backstage, realizing that you'll be able to stay up and see it? Was it worth it? Did it just captivate you when you sat there and saw the opening of it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Obviously I have things I liked and disliked about it, like most people would, but overall it was completely worth it. I, dead tired by the end of it, but it did. I like the fact that they presented it as one large story, and that because it's Netflix, it kind of works that way because you can binge the whole thing. It's like a 2-hour movie basically. That kept me interested. More episodic content where each 20-something minutes is its own little adventure. My mind tends to wander a little bit. You get kind of bored, which is why it's really hard for me to sit down through the original cartoon because no one story really matters all that much to the overall plot, except with a few exceptions. So yeah, I think it was totally worth it. I loved it.
What about you, Gilly? What did you think about that?
Growing up with G1 and seeing this pay the homage to Gen 1, but still do its own thing, I loved it. I think it's a great way to start new fans and keep the old fans going. The whole Bumblebee Wheeljack aesthetic, it was mind-blowing just to see how they did it. I loved it. I thought what they did was good. There were a few issues I had, but I don't blame that on the voice actors or the writing. I think that the directors kind of missed the mark with some of the voice acting points. But it is what it is. My only complaint with the show is really Christian Bale, Optimus Prime.
I'm Batman. How are you doing? I'm Optimus Prime. I need a throat lozenge, please.
Yeah, 2 seconds. He's got that Peter Cullen thing going on, and then he does the Christian Bale Batman scream, and then it's like you and I are talking regular. So Prime's voice actor was my big irk. Everything else. Oh, and we're talking about episode 1, so that's what I'm going to leave that at.
All right. Teresa, what do you think about the episode? Hey, little man.
It was cool. I kind of predict that there's gonna be traitorous acts going on in the next episode because of what happened in the end. But I don't know if this is normal, but I kind of don't like how they made Bumblebee a little Chris. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm new. I'm new to all of this. Okay, later, please. I'm new to all this. Okay, please go. And I'm new to all this, but I don't like how Bumblebee became a little biatch in this movie. But I know he'll end up being an Autobot,
Yeah.
But I like Alita. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she was definitely the star of the show.
I liked her.
Yeah, Alita was fantastic. Everything they did with her was great. Really made me happy that they gave us a little bit more of Prime and Alita than what we got in Gen 1. This was just like a beautiful, little gift. I look at this series as a gift.
I was watching the animation too. The way that she did her hip movements, it's very feminine, and they did a good job on the animation too.
And that's
I know this is kind of spoilers for future episodes, but talk about feminine hip movements. RC looked like she was strutting a runway the entire time.
Yeah.
She did.
Wait, which one was she?
the pink
RC, she was
Leia
in the
had-
series.
Episode. She's on
Princess Leia in pink.
Yes.
Yeah,
Was she in the first episode?
no, she came a little later, but she has the same base CGI model as Alita with some alterations. And for whatever reason, when they animated her, I mean, she was it's like she was showing off.
Yep.
Oh,
It was
The whole
probably
show.
to make up for that pale white face.
Yeah.
She just had a nice little swing in her step. That was it.
Yeah.
Strutting her stuff.
Be right back.
All right. What about you, Lord Starscream? What was your favorite? What was the thing that just stood out to you when you saw the first episode, my man?
My first time watching it.
The first episode. Don't you break anything else.
Well, I'm just saying the thing that got me the most was the voice actor that was playing Starscream, because the actor that plays Starscream in this is also the same actor that played in the Prime Wars trilogy, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And right now this is my 10th. I watched it 10 times in a row, and I enjoy it more and more. I did not get no sleep. I'm still watching it, and I enjoy it.
It was really cool. Now, there was some things that for me that kind of I thought was interesting, and this is something that Solomus, I want him to share what his favorite is, but I also don't want to forget, he asked us to talk about some of the figures that were with it, and that's something I'm going to let him start off with. But first, what was your excitement on the first episode before we go into the figures also?
It was good, like the scene, at the beginning, how you see Bumblebee and Wheeljack. It reminded me of the first episode from the G1, how you see Bumblebee and Wheeljack in the first few scenes. So a little bit of homages to that for the G1ers. But yeah, it was a good show. Obviously, a few issues, like with Prime's voice acting and some scenes like Billy was talking about, but it was a good show.
I was very surprised by that. What I was even more surprised by is what you were like bringing up for us to do on here. And like what you got Hound in your hand, correct?
Ultra Magnus, actually.
Ultra Magnus. Let me make you bigger real quick.
Yeah.
That's the Walmart version.
Yeah, the Netflix version. Correct. About that.
He's a very interesting character. Very, very much interesting.
Well, I liked this Ultra Magnus. Again, I like just what they did, by making it their own. I thought it was very well done.
The paint, detail.
Only thing I miss is the aviator glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so a couple of streams ago, we were talking about lips. Now, you guys messed it up for me because the whole time, what was his name again?
Megatron.
Megatron was talking.
Kissy Poo Megs. That's what I call it.
Yes.
Kissy Poo Megs, right there.
I couldn't. You guys ruined it for me.
I had no problem with it. I really had no problem with it. It didn't bother me that much, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but then I kept on going back. Like, I was watching the show, and I was all like, man, we talked about his lips a couple episodes ago. And I just kept going back to when we were talking about his lips.
The lips didn't bother me when I was watching the show, but the stills, the lips drive me mad. However, show-wise, they're all right. I did okay with it.
Yeah.
I thought the Megatron voice actor, he should be applauded for making that character his own. He didn't, do anything in regards to Frank Welker. He truly was like, you know what, I'm going to portray this IDW-esque Megatron. I felt he was more IDW than Gen 1, and I loved it. Megatron is definitely up there. I liked him a lot. Frank's work as Starscream is always fantastic, and I like sound. Oh, I can't go into it.
No. I know. I'm like kind of like roll back too. It's like, oh, wait a second, come back here. Not too much.
I've only seen one.
But it was good. And Bill doing Wheeljack. Wheeljack was top notch.
Oh yeah, man. Wow.
I felt the Gen 1 Wheeljack, but I felt a little originality to it. Wheeljack was great, and as a kid, he was always one of my favorites. So to see him get some good time, it was good.
Eddie Powell, I want to share what he says, and I want to talk about this for a second too. We have Ultra Magnus is now going to go incognito. First of all, we're robots. None of them wear clothing. So where did he get the cloth? Where?
Yeah, even the necklace didn't even come with that.
Okay.
Well, accessory.
I only watched the first episode, Mr. Powell, but yeah.
But-
Where did he get that cloak?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think that might be the only piece of fabric in the entire show.
Right.
Like everything else made of metal, and then he's just got this like burlap
Cloak and
sack from somewhere.
invisibility.
He stole it from Dark of the Moon Megatron.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a lot of people take that little cloak from that toy and put it over their Ultra Magnus, take pictures. It works pretty well.
I bet it works pretty well.
Yeah. Which
Well, I
just
knew
makes
it
me
was
wonder
him.
why they couldn't have included that with the Netflix one.
Yeah, they did.
They already had the design. They could have just recolored it a little bit, thrown it in there, would have worked. But, oh well.
Or just removed Rung and then replaced the cape with him.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to bring up, like Soma said, was like with the action figures that came out first. You know, this was a discussion Nikki and I had. This is really the first time that we have the action figures come out first, and you see as the designs of the Transformers, are absolutely spot on to, like, you know, I'll show this off real quick. Show off the two real quick. You know, never in my life was I ever going to find a Jetfire that's going to look like, you know, Jetfire. And Optimus Prime looked awesome. You know, these guys were amazing, surprisingly amazing that they look so much. I mean, to the details that even when you saw the back of Prime, you saw that part here.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about that? Did that matter to anybody, or was that just a nice little Easter egg?
Honestly, the adherence to the toy design, it didn't bother me. You know, it could have left things open to look kind of clunky, but I think the animation was really good. And a lot of the places, you know, they got kind of creative where if there was like a big gaping 5mm hole in his back, they just kind of filled in with some vent detail or something, so it looked natural. They just had holes all over their body. So I appreciated it because, you know, that wouldn't have worked in the 1980s if you made the robots look like those toys, because they were oddly proportioned and, you know, not. But engineering's come so far that you can actually use these as the basis for an actual animated character now. I dug that.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good touch. Plus, you know, it's great marketing for the toys, and I always want the line to succeed, so they keep making more toys. So
I agree. I was talking to my wife's husband, my brother-in-law. I mean, my sister's husband, my brother-in-law. He's a big Starscream fan. But as
I didn't say a Starscream also leaves too.
What?
I didn't hear that. What was that?
What was that, Solomon?
Lord Starscream left right when you said Starscream.
Jeez, he's like a hot potato. One's here and then he's gone, in and out. Now
Eddie-
he's backstage. Man, you keep making me have to go to backstage. Y'all know I can't do this stuff. What the matter with you? Lord have mercy.
I agree with Eddie Powell over there that no Springer was a letdown.
Big like that.
yeah,
Springer's one of my favorites. I hate the figure because mine just crumbled in my hands. But I was really shocked we didn't get Springer like as a tank, like just that beefy here to save the day, or at least, you know, with Ultra Magnus as part of his little militant squad. I was really surprised.
Oh, and hey, Ninja Bill, what's up to you? When you see the figures, we did. There were several figures that we didn't get. I mean, we did get like a guess. You could say that was a cliff jumper that was in the screen. But how did it feel whenever you saw so many versions of Cog?
Yeah, or Sideswipe in the one scene and Factor for the other.
It brought me back to Beast Machines, where they reused those models so many times that, you know, and if we talk about later episodes, if I'm on, we'll talk more about Beast Machines. But those reuse of the models, it just gave me that Beast Machines vibe. I didn't mind. I know they need to sell toys. So if it means I'm getting a red Cog, bring it on. If it means, you know, I'm okay with it. You know.
Yeah,
You
the red Cog and the mustard colored Cog. They just had, if they had an orange Cog, they would have me sold immediately. But seeing the episode and the pacing of it, like what Teresa was saying about Bumblebee, this was a different Bumblebee than what we're really used to. I mean, it really was more of a kind of an IDW feel Bumblebee, like the Megatron was. Was that a big turnoff for anybody?
So
I loved it.
I get where they were going for. You know, they're giving him this kind of rebellious loner streak. I think they pushed that angle too hard, though, and kind of like Teresa was saying, he was just a jerk a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That is a big removal from his normal characterization, because in almost every continuity, he's kind of like the heart and soul of the Autobots. He's generally one of the kinder characters. Even if he's having a bad day, he's not like just a jerk to be a jerk. And I think they pushed that button a little too hard with him. Because I remember, you know, even the first episode, I'm like, calm down, bro. Why do you have to be like that? Why are you such a jerk to everybody? Everyone's being
Wheeljack call him an ass.
Well, you know, it's like when Nikki saw it and we were talking about it, she was like, "Oh, Bumblebee's an asshole."
Yeah.
What the hell, really? He's got your personality, but he's got a beautiful color yellow. But your personality just doesn't work. But yeah, it was. I understood for the mindset of why they were doing it, especially when we get to future episodes. We'll talk about that. But I agree. I felt that they pushed that envelope almost too much. That he was getting to that line that it was going to be like a no return. That if he went any further than that line right there, then there will be a no redeeming quality to the character. And that's what was very terrifying for Nikki when she was seeing it for the first time. And I agree with her on that one. Was there any other characters that you were seeing, or the story? Did you think that the 22 minutes and calls? I mean, when you go to TV God had it down for 37 minutes. You had
that's why I was hearing it, and it was 20 minutes on the show.
Yeah. How did y'all feel about that? I mean, did you feel like it was too short? Because it felt like Cyberverse. If you watch it for 10 minutes, it's like boom, it's gone. It's like a commercial. Would you like to see a 40-minute to an hour episode each?
I kind of liked the shortened storylines, the shortened episodes, because it just lets us ease into it. I'm hoping the next season is a few more episodes.
Yeah.
You know, that way we get a little bit more meat when they get to Earth or wherever they end up. But I thought with what they had to work with, and, you know, they were working through the pandemic. Okay, as I was talking with members of the show, you know, they all had to work remotely and not really be able to be there with each other. So they're up against all odds. And because of the pandemic, the show almost didn't happen. So I'm very happy with what we got, with what they had to work with. I'm hoping enough people watched it 5 or 6 times, like most of us, where they say, we need a bigger season. Let's give them more. Let's do a little bit more money. Let's do a few more episodes. And I thought it was good, because when you get those hour episodes, you end up with like an Ozark, where you're happy a half hour into it, and then that second half, you're like, oh, it's just dragging. I want to go to bed. It's over. But that's my opinion. You know, everybody else always obviously can feel totally different.
I think the short episode format, it works for this because of, you know, how I was saying the story works. It's all one big self-contained story arc. So it's like reading a book where you're reading chapters of it, and you can put it down in between chapters. They're kind of natural stopping points. You don't feel burnt out from having to sit through this hour-long episode. But see, one thing I didn't like about Cyberverse is that had really short episodes, 11 minutes. Most of them were self-contained. They weren't multi-parters or anything. So, I mean, it was like having ADD trying to watch a show. It was just like, okay, we're doing this, now we're doing this, now we're doing this. And for me, it was very hard to stay into that show. I mean, I watched it because of the Transformer show, but that's something I like. It felt very shallow. Whereas here, because each episode just leads into the next one naturally, it works. It really does feel like just reading a chapter book, and each chapter is, 20 pages long.
Yeah.
Good way to put it. Real quick, Ninja Bill, we're not going to spoil anything for you, man.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And Eddie and Lord.
That's why I'm only watching one episode.
So don't tell them about the Tidal Wave cameo. He's trolling. Tidal Wave. Or is there? Now I got everyone wondering.
I kind of liked it.
Well,
I kind of liked it that length because I was easily towards the end when Megatron, I can't remember his name, right? Megatron was given his speech. I kept like drifting, and I was like, okay. I know he's talking to his people and motivating them, but you are like losing me. But yeah, I started getting distracted after 20 minutes and drifting. So I kind of like it short episodes like that.
okay. Now let's take a look at the character development.
Mm-hmm.
And Solomus, is there? Go ahead. You hadn't said anything for a little bit. Is there anything you want to add to it?
Well, I would have liked to see longer episodes, and maybe because like to see actually like how the war started for a new generation, because we obviously start off with the war already taking place. So maybe like see in like the first or second episode, seeing like how the war took place, because we only see like glimpses of it from the story.
So you would have liked to see like the actual battle,
Like their origin story, like how they started the war for a new generation to understand what they're going through.
Gotcha. Well, speaking about that, let's talk about Optimus Prime and Megatron for a second, because right there you got the two leaders. You got really the two pillars of what an Autobot should be and what a Decepticon is.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, I love it. Yes, I actually love that alt mode. Showed up again. I love
This
that.
one, I love this figure. This figure is, I like this more than the Earthrise. This is a fun figure.
Yeah,
Absolutely agree.
Is he supposed to be smaller than
Megatron.
Megatron? Brain fart.
I like my Optimus smaller than Megatron.
I do.
Bring me the underdog. Bring me somebody that,
But I think he was really small. I mean, they could have made him a little bit bigger.
I love
That
this
one's cool.
Megatron.
yeah.
The paint they did on this version is just, it makes the other one just pointless, honestly.
Pointless.
Yeah.
I saw it today.
It's like what they did with the first movie, the 2007 movie, where they made all the toys, and then like Best Buy, they gave them all premium paint jobs and re-released them. And it's like, really? After we just bought all these?
yep.
That's how I feel about some of the Netflix toys like this, because it's just so good.
I saw him today, but I was like, I've already got you in two other forms in that same mold. I got to say no. And but with the two characters, did you feel that it was understandable why the Autobots was following Optimus and why the Decepticons were following? I mean, for me, it was very much so to understand why they were following Megatron, why Jetfire was following Megatron. I had some issues personally. I had some issues in the type of leadership direction that they were going in the first episode. Even though Optimus shows up at this nick of time type same feel that we saw in the Bumblebee movie when they're on Cybertron. He comes in, but that Optimus is kicking ass. This Optimus is
Getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It seemed like he had a small army compared to Megatron's huge audience and support.
One thing I found interesting about, kind of you were saying how, why would people follow these characters? I saw a lot of very real world parallels to kind of their ideologies, and I don't want to get super into it because I don't want to pull politics into a Transformer stream, but there are definitely certain philosophies that each one of those, their stances seem to kind of, Megatron was kind of started as a workers' rights type movement, which went the way that those have gone in history, whereas Optimus is more of a, freedom fighter, individualist kind of. And I won't go too much further because, again, politics. But I spotted that. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's interesting because it reflects two ideologies that do very much clash in practice. So to see that, see it play out like that, and people are attracted to both of those mindsets, whether you're talking like collectivism, individualism, security versus freedom, that will pull in crowds of people. So I think it worked out really well. how you could see a lot of people getting behind, Megatron and his promises, and people appealing to Optimus' sense of, more of a self-governance kind of thing. So, I think it works. I don't know if it was planned to be that deep or not, or if I'm just seeing things that weren't there.
No, I saw the same
I think
thing.
it worked.
I
I think it worked very well.
Yep, I agree. I think it was definitely planned out that way. That it's just a little bit more intelligent science fiction writing. I think it's very well done.
Yeah, I liked it.
There was a lot of heart. You could see there was a lot of heart in this Transformers. You could tell that this was a group of voice actors that were realizing, hey, we're being given this grand opportunity for 35 years to still exist, that the fandom is so big. We're now being given literally the gloves to go into this world, and I think it was done very, very tastefully. I thought it was done very well. Not tastefully. I thought it was done very, very well. I thought the things they did with the Megatron character made me sit there and go, okay, I understand why Jetfire is following you. I understand why Ultra Magnus does what he does, but I could not. I had the hardest time, and I'm a big Optimus Prime fan. I love Optimus, but I could not, for the life of me, figure out what was it that the Autobots were seeing in him, or was they just seeing what they were hoping was going to be there?
I think that he had that. I can't say it without spoiling things. So, TF Collector, say your thing.
I was just saying. I think there was a case of that within the Autobot ranks, which was causing the friction. You had some people that didn't know what they signed up for and were all in for it, and those were the ones that tend to be more supportive. And then you had ones that I think signed on to an ideal, and then when things started playing out, they were kind of like, "Ooh, is this really what I want? Is it?" You could kind of see the dynamic where Megatron would reach out to Autobots and try to get them to convert. Mm-hmm. And you could almost see the temptation, like in Wheeljack's eyes in that first episode, where he's like, "Come join us, be prosperous with us," and that little bit of like, "Ooh, that sounds better than being hunted all the time," Yeah. So I think there is that, which is I think good writing, because as iconic as the original show is, everything was very black and white, right? All the good guys, all the bad guys. Mm-hmm. There was never any kind of self-doubt really displayed in the old cartoon. Comic touched on it more, but the cartoon was just, it was a kid's cartoon. You're supposed to eat your Fruit Loops and just be excited by the flashy colors and robots. So,
mm-hmm. The other thing that I was looking at is talking about the dynamics. You take a look at Jetfire, take a look at Starscream.
Yeah.
Anybody want to jump on that one?
I loved the Jetfire and Starscream dynamic so much better than what we got in Gen 1, that they were scientists together and they get, Jetfire gets lost on Earth because he's exploring it. This was great. I loved him being leader of the Seekers. I wish his eyes were red, but that's a whole nother thing. Frank actually fought for his eyes to be red, but he's not a director and he's not an artist in terms of who's doing the animation. I thought they did a really good job with that. I liked, you could see where Starscream was developing into this conniving guy, and you could see where Jetfire was going. Granted, we're only on the first episode. I'm going to stick there. What they did with him, I think that they gave us a more rounded out Jetfire than what we got as kids, and I'm happy with it. This figure, being represented the way it was, I'm so happy about it. I'm also happy that they didn't give him all that armor.
Yeah, all the extra guns.
The armor for this guy is still sitting in its box upstairs in my attic. But what they did with him, it's far better than anything we got in Gen 1.
Yeah, like giving him the sword arm, the sword arm.
Sword arm is definitely cool.
But actually, that's an upgrade kit coming out. So,
but with the face, the dynamics, you got the Decepticons. Let's get that real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Decepticon symbol being on his chest, being very much him choosing a side. I thought that was interesting, and that it made sense. It was like, okay, I'm looking at, and here's the thing too, and they kind of alluded to that there was a war before this war that they were. And
Yeah,
that's
it was
one reason
Battle
why.
of Tarnhauser Gate, which
I
kind
was
of spoilers, but that was talked about a lot.
No. Do you think that we could speculate a little bit, but do we think that maybe we'll see some of that in future?
I would hope so. I hope they jump back on a few flashbacks.
Yeah.
Hopefully when they're on Earth, Prime's questioning himself, in season 2, and they show you some sort of flashback. What led to these decisions that were made that brought us there? I would love that. I love that kind of stuff.
I think it's one thing that hurt the show was the lack of flashbacks, because the point that they threw us in, there's a lot of stuff you just have to kind of take for granted. They're like, there's a war. You're going to get like surface level details of everything that happened, how things have played out, what came before. And I think, and I don't know if this might be jumping ahead a little, but I think probably the show's biggest weakness was the low episode count. I think if it would have been like a 12 episode season and had much more time to flesh out the cracks in between everything, I think that would have made it better, because a lot of the criticisms I hear about are people like, oh, well, they don't explain a lot and a lot of things, that I wanted to see. And like, yeah, I agree. I think it would have helped the integrity of the show if there was just more total runtime. And I get that there's obviously, like Billy said, that there was, limitations because of Corona and all that. And also, you got to think of budget and how long they want to take to make these, because they're already behind with the toy lines. But I think as a production, if they had about twice as many episodes, had more time to do flashbacks, so you could kind of get a sense of what Cybertron was before it was all doom and gloom, and better sense of where these character motivations are, I think that would have really, really helped. Because that was probably my biggest criticism of the show, was just it was too short. I wanted more to make it, a better self-contained story.
The one thing I saw that was very extremely promising is by the next day that Netflix released their numbers for their shows of their top 10. Transformers made number 7.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
For 6 episodes, it's like 20-minute episodes, and it made number 7. I mean, it has a lot less time to be watched, quicker. But at the time, that's kind of speaks some volumes to the point where, Netflix is already saying that there's future plans to go forward. I would love to see this be considered like sometimes they do these things called chapter 1, and that could be like chapter 1, then they go chapter 2. They sometimes will throw that at us. I don't know if they'll do that with Transformers here, or if they're able to, but I do hope that they give us a little bit of something extra with it. I was very surprised though with the rating on it, because I thought this was going to be a really edge, very dark, but it was actually within that Y7, I think is what they had it. Mm-hmm. And it didn't mess it up. It was done that well.
It's probably the lack of cursing is what managed to keep the rating down, because I don't think there was a single curse in the entire show, despite like all the grit and the violence. Mm-hmm. I can't remember like a single damn or anything. Like,
yeah, I don't think so either.
They kept it pretty G-rated with the dialogue.
Yeah, I have to agree. I can't remember if I heard anything. No, I don't think so. So it did.
Well, that's good though. I mean, I think it's good because from my mom's standpoint, I was trying to get my kids to watch it with me. And if they see cussing, they already hear mommy cussing enough, but if they see it on TV, then they're like, oh, okay, it's cool.
Well, don't let them watch the 86 movie. Playing some words for your kids there.
In trouble, let's just say something happened.
Took me for a loop the first time I watched it. Like, did that cartoon character just say that in this kid's movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
But before we go, as we're coming to the end, because we're now at 43 minutes, and I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to tell where they can find you. The one thing I was wanting to end with was the fact that with this episode, how hard was it if you did or if you didn't, that's fine. How hard was it for you to kind of hold off and not watch the next episode right after it? Or did you binge watch it like I did?
I binged it.
I binged it the full show multiple times.
I tried not to watch the second one. But because I've binge watched Game of Thrones, and then I've tried to talk about it, and I forget what episode was what. It's just all meshed into one long binge watching week. So I think I did a good job not watching it all in one night.
You did excellent. I didn't get that power.
I had to watch it again though.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, Lord Stars.
Teresa, you seem to have an admirer in the comments.
Yeah, like Eddie and Eddie's comments. So.
Oh, that is.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
Got a fan.
Bye,
Love
Pangy.
alive.
That's like,
That's funny.
stupid, you dumb. I look like crap. My hair looks like crap.
If you're not still flirting with your wife, what are you doing, right?
There you go. Absolutely. With that, coming to the end, since y'all two guys have been such great to be with us tonight, where would they be able to locate you, TF Collector? Oh, wait a second. That's right. Oh, I got it.
Oh, there goes Lord again. Oh come on, Lord.
He's like a hot potato. He's like in, he's out. Oh my God.
This little thing of beauty here.
I want him so bad.
Yes.
Who is that?
That's
Omega Supreme. You'll find out later in the show.
We'll talk about him later in the show.
Yeah.
He looks like he has a freeway for wings.
Oh, he does.
He does.
Show. Trust me on that part.
Yep. I want him so bad. I've already got the money saved up where I can buy when it's going for.
So is that a build or is that a? Sorry.
Wrong button. No,
That's a Titan class figure.
I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Look at me. I'm like a hot potato, not knowing what.
So I've lucked out. Most of my Titan class, like all my expensive figures, I've won in that Transformers game group on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow.
Scorponok, like I think I got him for like $8.
I think
It's just mind blowing. So I like that group.
Yeah.
Is that Hound?
Yep, the original Hound, not the Netflix version.
No, the Netflix version's head pops off.
Yeah, like there was like too much paint and then it would pop off. But even the box art, that wasn't even a Hound. It was their Hot Shot. Not even Hound on the box art for the Netflix version.
Yeah.
It was just repainted to look like Hound, but it wasn't Hound. You're also seeing Hound in the show.
Yeah.
My son was running around with this guy telling me cheese.
Oh, I know.
I
That's
wonder why. Maybe it looks like a camera.
Yeah, this one was a birthday gift from my wife and daughters. So he's a favorite.
Yeah.
Nikki was so excited about seeing so many of him. She was like, I need more. I need an army with him now.
Well, seeing that many of him in the show made how many of him in Gen 1 were just cannon fodder make so much sense. So again, that reuse of the models really didn't bother me. I was pretty happy with it.
So, TF Collector, where can they find you in this wonderful internet type of world where it's out there, is out there?
So naturally, they can find me here on YouTube as TF Collector. I'm on Facebook at a TFMR Collector. It's all one word. Twitter is TFMR_collector. I'm on Instagram at TF_collector_net. And then you can also find me on the 3 fan sites, the forums for Sabertron, T-Formers, and TFW as Lore Keeper. So that's where I'm typically at online.
Awesome. Billy the Kid, you were up. Where can they find you, my man?
YouTube, Billy the Kids, No Bullshit Toy Reviews. Same thing with Facebook, Billy the Kids, No Bullshit Toy Reviews. Instagram is Billy the Kids, No BS Toy Reviews. And on TFW 2005, I am Bairdimus Prime. Gears of War, I love Baird, and Optimus Prime, who doesn't love him? I'm very easy to reach out to. I'm always willing to talk to people. And then my Patreon is obviously linked in my YouTube. All my Patreons, I try to make sure I spend time with them. One of them, I've been sending stickers out for his kids that my wife custom makes. So I try to be as personal as I possibly can for the people that enjoy what I do.
Awesome.
I thought that said Napster. FTR. I was like Billy the Kid's Napster.
Oh, Napster. I'm that old, man. I had Napster.
Yeah.
LimeWire, dude. LimeWire.
LimeWire. Oh boy, I got viruses from that.
Yeah, my wife and I are shaking our heads to LimeWire.
And MySpace.
Jeez, MySpace. Wow.
Anyway,
I wish
you
I
can
could access
find-
my MySpace for the pictures, but they keep telling me my email and password are wrong.
I
same
remember
here.
mine.
I still use my AOL email, so, dinosaur over here.
Oh.
Well, Teresa,
All
where can they
right.
find you?
They can find me. I've got a lot. They can find me on Instagram as Baby Mahal. That's baby, and then M is my AHAL. Epic, Discord, and Twitch is also Baby Mahal, but with 1119 at the end. PlayStation is Arctic_Wolf_82. Facebook and YouTube is my name, Teresa Cato, and my Snapchat is tcato1119, and my TikTok is Teresa Cato with no space. Please send me a message and make sure that you let me know that where you've seen me, so I can add you, and I don't add friends.
I understand. And Solmus, my man, you're up.
You can find me here on YouTube as Solmus44, where I also have episodes of the community Brawler, Solmus44 Gaming, where I'll have gaming lectures or video. Solmus44 on Twitch without the space. Solmus44 Solmus_44_YT for Instagram, Facebook, Discord, so you can there under Solmus44, and PSN is the ultimate_wolf.
And before we let him go, he does have some great news he shared with me. And
and press that, so not just you.
So no, I want you to go ahead because I'm gonna put links and stuff down at the bottom of the description where you can find all those stuff. But go ahead, my man, share with them.
Well, Ryan Reynolds, he posted a video a few days ago on his YouTube channel about he was picking 10 to 20 people to bring with. He's paying them and also housing and paying for travel for a movie role. So for acting. So I entered myself on it. So if I get selected, I will still technically be on the show, but I'll be away doing that. So if I get selected, I'll disappear for the show when I'm doing that part. But I'll still be doing the show when I come back for a movie.
Well, I hope you get selected, man.
Yeah.
I'm muted. It's a once in a lifetime type thing, and I said, I never look back on when I did something like that and say, man, I wish I never did that. I look back and say, man, that was an awesome experience. And
Couldn't agree more, man.
totally
I told you I did that tribute thing, but the only reason I got into that, I was one of the finalists for the singer search for STP when Scott Weiland died. And I'll never regret sending that in. I'll never, I didn't get it, but who the hell cares? I got to spend time with my family and I still got to talk to these people. So follow those dreams. Just like Autocorrect Primer said, man, always follow it. Always make the best of any opportunity. There's nothing worse than a what if.
I know, absolutely. And with me, you can pretty much find us here. We are going to do a rotating schedule since Solmus is where we've already planned for him to actually get this because, like I said, you got to speak it into existence. For it to happen, you got to already grab it and hold on to it. And so we're going to be doing a rotation. I'll be going down to Teresa's house later this week, and I'll be with the computer so that we can get her, which she'll be this little thing. I'm going to help you with that. With that, I do want to share. Our book is still coming out, but Nikki talked to the publisher, and I'm actually doing this thing. If you actually want to see it, I am doing a anchor. It is based for the book, and it is, in the mind of a conspiracy theorist is the name of the book. So the actual podcast and the actual thing on Anchor is in the mind of a conspiracy theorist, and so I've been doing that, and so we'll be going on the road also. That's what I told him for a book signing. So when that comes up and everybody's unquarantined and stuff like that, then we will be back. Oh, wait a second. Laura starts screaming. In the comments.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
I sure will, my man. I was wondering what was happening. I will do that. I'll hit Jeff after this. And so, definitely grab one of your dreams. Never forget. Hold on to them. My grandfather always said that you hold on to something from your childhood, you'll never grow old. Look to the stars, grab them. So you can find me anywhere when you hashtag even now. Buttercream Primer. I was surprised. My nieces did a little hashtag for me. I was like, what the heck is that? But I'm learning. And so you can now see also me on TikTok, which they were in shock. We had a bet going on. I am the champ. I am. We had a thing. My oldest niece, she got almost 1,000 followers. ACP got 7,560 followers. Thank you all.
Congratulations, man. That's a great thing, man.
Yeah.
It goes along. If you watch it, you're going to say, is he for real? Is he not? With our publisher, they were like, hey, you need to have this kind of go across the board. So I had a TikTok, didn't know what to do with it. I was going to do things with Transformers, stuff like that. And I kind of went into a reaction, people's reaction of all the crazy stuff that's been going around us. It bleeds into the book. It bleeds into the podcast. So if you get a chance, please check it out. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, anytime.
I appreciate it. And I guess with that, we're out.
My phone is
Out and about. All right. Who wants to sing us to go out? Because when it comes to this, it is not always the moment that catches you. It's like at the end of these, when I looked at ours last week, you see me going, right when it gets cut. So,
yeah,
who wants to go out with a bang? Solomons, why don't you?
Can we all strike a pose as we cut it out so we don't look ridiculous?
That's right.
You're good. Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, I don't know where my camera's at.
yeah,